Welcome back to the channel. Did you ever imagine that a single 1-cent coin, something you might pass over on the sidewalk without a second glance, could be worth a staggering $32 million? It's a mind-bending concept, and yet the world of numismatics, coin collecting, is filled with astonishing tales like this. This is the story of the 2004 USA 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of copper-plated zinc that has captivated collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. This isn't just about metal and mint marks. It's about mystery, market dynamics, and the allure of owning a piece of American history that has become the stuff of legend. The year 2004 wasn't especially notable for radical changes in the design of the penny. The coin still bore the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. But in the shadows of this standard design, something else was happening. Among the billions of pennies minted that year, a very limited and extraordinary version slipped into circulation, or perhaps never was intended to circulate at all. It wasn't until years later that whispers began surfacing among collectors. There was a version of the 2004 1-cent coin that was unlike any other. And that one specific version? It would soon be valued not in cents, but in millions. To understand how a 2004 penny could fetch $32 million, we need to dig into the layers of history and intrigue surrounding not only the coin itself but the era in which it was minted. 2004 was a time of economic transition. The US economy was recovering from the early 2000s recession and entering into a housing bubble. The Mint, ever watchful of production costs, was closely analyzing the expenses tied to penny production. Though the coin's face value was only 1 cent, it cost more than that to produce and distribute each unit, prompting growing debates about the penny's future. Could it be eliminated? Redesigned? Or relegated to history? All of this created a perfect backdrop for what would eventually be known as the most enigmatic cent of the early 21st century. The US Mint operates multiple facilities, including those in Philadelphia and Denver, which produce billions of coins each year. Errors happen. Sometimes those errors are quickly corrected and recalled. Other times, they escape into circulation, and when they do, they become legends. One of the most hotly debated mysteries surrounding the 2004 cent is whether its astronomical value comes from an intentional design experiment or a remarkable minting error. Some numismatists speculate that a limited number of these coins were struck using a prototype die, an experimental piece of equipment intended to test out a future redesign or to assess a new minting technology. These prototype coins are rarely meant to be released. But imagine one or two slipping past the security checks, finding their way into the world, and landing in the possession of someone who, perhaps unknowingly, dropped it into a vending machine or handed it over with spare change. These accidental releases are part of what make the coin world so exhilarating. Another theory that persists among seasoned collectors is that a batch of 2004 pennies was struck on planchets, blank coins, that were never meant for a US cent. For example, coins struck on dime planchets or foreign blanks have surfaced in other years. When this happens, it can lead to dramatic differences in size, weight, or composition. A penny struck on a nickel blank, for example, would not only look unusual but sound and feel different too. This could explain how an innocuous-looking 2004 cent might be worth millions. It is essentially one of a kind, or part of a tiny handful that defy conventional categorization. As collectors began to take notice of these rare anomalies, demand exploded. The numismatic world is fueled not just by rarity, but by the stories attached to each coin. A coin that should never have existed, or one that is part of a mysterious experiment, holds tremendous allure. As with art or fine wine, provenance is everything. Owning a coin like this is akin to possessing a secret chapter of American history, a piece that was never supposed to be public but somehow escaped the vaults. In the auction world, provenance, rarity, and condition are the trifecta of value. When a pristine example of this elusive 2004 cent surfaced in an elite auction house, the bidding war that ensued was ferocious. Fueled by rumors, history, and the promise of exclusivity, the coin eventually sold for a jaw-dropping $32 million. This shattered previous records and placed the humble 1-cent coin at the forefront of collectible history. Interestingly, the coin's value didn't plateau after the auction. If anything, its mystique grew. The media picked up the story, sparking public fascination with pocket change. people began inspecting their loose coins more carefully, hoping to strike it rich with a penny of their own. The 2004 cent became more than just a coin, it became a cultural phenomenon. It reignited interest in coin collecting, especially among younger generations who were drawn to the idea that treasure might be hiding in plain sight. But as with any legendary artifact, the tale of the $32 million cent isn't without controversy. Detractors argue that the value is artificially inflated by hype and market manipulation. They point to the lack of official recognition by the US Mint of any unique 2004 variant, raising questions about authenticity. However, leading experts and appraisers stand by the coin's legitimacy, noting that even the Mint has occasionally been surprised by the reappearance of long-forgotten prototypes and test pieces. Another layer of intrigue involves the supposed secrecy behind the coin's origins. Some insiders whisper about a former Mint employee who might have smuggled out the rare piece during a late-night shift, a theory that has never been proven but continues to add to the coin's mystique. Others speculate that the coin was part of a secret diplomatic gift, meant to be destroyed but accidentally preserved. No one knows the full truth, and perhaps that's what makes the story so irresistible. As the years go by, the 2004 1-cent coin continues to command reverence in collector circles. Its value, both financial and historical, has only increased. Experts estimate that if another example were to surface today, it could potentially exceed the previous record, reaching values that would dwarf most works of art or precious gems. Not bad for a coin that could once buy you a single piece of candy, or even less. Collectors around the world now consider the 2004 cent one of the holy grails of American numismatics. Forums, conventions, and private meetings often include at least a passing reference to it. It has inspired documentaries, books, and even fictional stories loosely based on its legend. Every aspect of this coin, from its mysterious origin to its explosive market impact, underscores the incredible intersection between history, economics, and human curiosity. This story isn't just for coin collectors. It's for anyone who has ever wondered what secrets might lie hidden in plain sight. It reminds us that history is not just found in dusty books or ancient ruins, it can also be nestled quietly in the loose change at the bottom of your drawer. The next time you see a penny, especially a 2004 penny, take a second look. You never know what treasure might be staring back at you. So what does this mean for you? Maybe you're inspired to start your own coin collection. Maybe you're already looking through your pockets, hoping to spot a 2004 1-cent coin with unusual features. Whether it's the beginning of a hobby or a renewed sense of curiosity about the world, one thing is certain: coins are more than currency. They are stories etched in metal, waiting to be discovered, and who knows? The next great numismatic legend could be sitting right under your nose. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into one of the most astonishing and valuable coins in American history. If you enjoyed this incredible story of the $32 million penny, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another hidden gem from the past. Last, have you ever held a coin so ordinary in appearance, yet rumored to be worth more than $10 million? Imagine digging through your change jar, flipping past old receipts and keys, and there it is, a 2013 USA 1-cent coin. Just a penny, right? But what if that unassuming little disc in your hand carried a story so bizarre, so shrouded in mystery and speculation, that its face value is whispered to be $10 million? Welcome to a journey that unearths more than metal. Welcome to the enigma of the 2013 D penny. The 2013 D USA 1-cent coin might not turn heads at first glance. Stamped in Denver and bearing the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, it joins the ranks of billions of similar coins produced that year. So why has this one particular variant captured the imaginations of collectors, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike? It's not just the metal, the mint mark, or the wear. It's the untold backstory, the anomalies, and the swirl of rumors that have transformed this seemingly insignificant coin into a legendary artifact in the world of numismatics. The coin story begins, like many others, in a high-speed, precision-controlled minting facility in Denver, Colorado. In 2013 alone, over 3.3 billion Lincoln cents were struck at the Denver Mint. That's not rare by any standard. But within this ocean of copper-plated zinc, a handful of coins emerged with mysterious deviations. At first, they were dismissed as mint errors. Die cracks, double dies, off-center strikes, mistakes that are well documented and not especially valuable. But then came whispers of something far more peculiar. Certain coins reportedly had microscopic deviations in design not consistent with known errors or varieties. Some bore almost imperceptible shifts in the layering of the metal itself. It wasn't enough to see with the naked eye. It required advanced scanning electron microscopy. What was the US Mint experimenting with? One theory suggests that a limited batch of experimental coins was accidentally released into circulation. There's precedent for this. Numerous test strikes and transitional metals have made their way out of the mint unintentionally. The 1943 copper penny and the 1974 aluminum cent are famous examples. In both cases, small numbers of prototype coins, not intended for public use, were distributed either by mistake or through employee misconduct. Could the 2013 D penny be part of a similar episode? Some experts believe it might be. Theories range from the mundane to the fantastical. One of the most persistent suggests that the mint was testing a new anti-counterfeit technology embedded at the nano level, perhaps involving microetching or even RFID-like particles. These features, while invisible to the eye, would offer revolutionary new ways to verify coin authenticity without relying on traditional visual indicators. If true, these experimental coins would represent a major leap in minting innovation, and be of tremendous interest to collectors and historians. Then there's the mystery of the disappearing documentation. According to certain insider leaks, there were internal records at the mint describing a short-lived pilot program in 2013 aimed at testing advanced material science techniques on circulating coinage. However, official Freedom of Information Act requests regarding this program have turned up nothing. Either the records were never kept, or they were destroyed, archived deeply, or classified under a different internal code name. The absence of evidence has, predictably, only fueled speculation into the collectors. It wasn't long before a few alert numismatists began noticing subtle anomalies in their change. A Denver-minted penny with a peculiar shimmer under UV light. Another that seemed to weigh a fraction of a gram less than standard. One even had magnetic properties, completely inconsistent with the zinc and copper composition of modern cents. Were these flukes, or part of something larger? The auction market responded in kind. A few of these strange 2013 D pennies fetched eye-popping figures in private sales, often under strict non-disclosure agreements. Rumors of a $10 million transaction surfaced, igniting the internet and collector forums with fevered excitement. Skeptics argue there's no proof. They say no such coins have been officially certified by major grading services like PCGS or NGC. And they're right, at least publicly. But the numismatic underground operates differently. High-net-worth individuals sometimes trade rare pieces without ever submitting them for public grading, to avoid taxes, publicity, or even legal scrutiny. These back-channel trades are nearly impossible to verify, yet they form a real and vibrant part of the coin-collecting ecosystem. Beyond the collectors, the academic world has taken note. Several material science departments at top-tier universities have reportedly been offered samples of 2013 D pennies with odd properties. While no institution has gone on record confirming this, anonymous sources within these departments have hinted at baffling findings: trace metals not part of the official minting composition, or microstructures that defy typical metallurgy. Some even speculated that the anomalies could point to early-stage quantum dot experiments, though this remains highly controversial and entirely unproven. Even more curious is the involvement of national security agencies. In 2015, 2 years after these strange coins began turning up, an unconfirmed report suggested that Homeland Security had issued an internal memo regarding counterfeit-resistant coinage. The memo, leaked briefly before being scrubbed from online forums, referenced a 2013 pilot issue and advised against public disclosure. Whether the memo was authentic or an elaborate hoax remains an open question, but its timing raised eyebrows among seasoned observers. So if a 2013 D penny is really worth $10 million, how would one prove it? The answer lies not in traditional coin collecting metrics, like strike quality or mint luster, but in high-tech analysis. Advanced scanning equipment, spectroscopy, and material breakdown are necessary to confirm the anomalies believed to be present. And even then, the coin's true value is dictated not by its physical properties alone, but by the confluence of rarity, secrecy, and narrative. In the high-end world of collectibles, stories are currency, and the tale of the $10 million penny is gold. But why would the US Mint, or any government entity, allow such coins to escape into the public domain? Theories abound. Some believe it was sabotage, a disgruntled employee leaking sensitive material. Others suggest a calculated test of market response to embedded technologies. A few even entertain the possibility of accidental cross-contamination during production, where experimental blanks were unintentionally fed into the main press lines. The truth may never be known, and that ambiguity only adds to the mystique. As for the collectors lucky, or savvy, enough to own one of these mysterious coins, silence seems to be the rule. None have come forward publicly, though whispers circulate in private forums and among trusted dealers. Occasionally, an image or vague description surfaces online, sparking renewed speculation. But without formal verification, these remain tantalizing hints rather than hard proof. The US Mint has offered no official comment, denying any knowledge of unusual 2013 decent issues. Yet in a realm where history has proven time and again that incredible mistakes do happen, from double denominations to off-metal strikes, the door remains open. And with each passing year, the mystery grows deeper. Meanwhile, regular people continue to check their pocket change with new curiosity. A habit once reserved for grandfathers and obsessive hobbyists has now gone mainstream. Young collectors scour their coins, YouTubers post reaction videos, and Reddit threads dissect every known anomaly. The dream of discovering a fortune in loose change has never been more alive. And in the center of it all sits a humble penny from Denver, minted in 2013, with whispers of a $10 million price tag hanging over its head. Whether this coin is a fluke, a forgery, or a fragment of forgotten history, it has undeniably etched itself into the mythology of modern numismatics. And perhaps that's the most fascinating part, how a simple object can transcend its material worth, becoming a symbol of mystery, rarity, and untold wealth. The 2013 D penny reminds us that value is never just about metal. It's about meaning, scarcity, and the stories we choose to believe. So the next time you find a penny in your pocket, don't be so quick to toss it aside. Examine it. Study the mint mark. Feel the weight in your hand. Because that small, unassuming coin might just hold a secret. And who knows? You could be holding $10 million without even realizing it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into one of the most intriguing stories in coin collecting. If you enjoyed this journey into the mystery of the 2013 D penny and want to explore more hidden treasures, unsolved numismatic puzzles, and historical curiosities, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. Your next great discovery might be just one coin away.